Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. The gaming bill is well on its way to becoming law as the bill was passed in Parliament yesterday. As the debate now moves to the upper chamber, we have reaction from the Christian community here on Grand Bahama. The gaming bill was passed in the House of Assembly less than 2 years following a referendum where Bahamians voted overwhelmingly against the legalization of gambling in the country. President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Peter Pinder, says like other members of the Christian community, he voted no in the referendum in January of 2013. He says despite government's decision to move forward with the gaming bill, his position has not changed.
Obviously, the government feels, as they've expressed, that it's in the best interest of the country. Personally, I voted no, and my stand is still no. And so, irrespective of what the government does, my position has not changed. And so, therefore, I am prepared to continue to state my position.
Leader of Government Business in the House of Assembly, Dr. Bernard Nottage, apologized for not honoring the results of that referendum. The Christian Council leader responded this way.
If you intentionally do something, then why are you apologizing? Because you're saying, I am doing this because I feel that this is necessary. And so people will take that for what it's worth. Some will see the apology as empty, others will accept it.
Nonetheless, the leader of the local Christian community says nothing that is done in this country surprises him, as he does not see the Bahamas as a Christian nation.
We do not have what some people classify as a Christian nation. I don't believe we have a Christian nation. And so therefore I'm not surprised when certain things are done that we may be considered to be immoral or improper or against a stable family society. So what is happening in regards to gambling is happening in other areas of our social life, and from the standpoint of me as a preacher, I will continue to preach against sin, and we have a sinful country.
Another local clergyman is weighing in on the gaming bill. Pastor of Mount Calvary Baptist Church, Reverend Paul Mullings, says he's concerned about the social ramifications that could be realized as a result of the legalization of gambling.
The gambling to me is alcoholism, the scourge that's on the families. That's a real, I live in this community, all right? And one of the scourges is gambling. People drive through here, people can't eat food, they can't afford food, but they want $1 to buy a number. It's systemic. It's pathetic for the little child. So the culture now becomes one of not work, but and these same people as a church, we have to look out for them, And when you take all what the little you already making, $150, you take that gamble and you lose, everybody loses.
Reverend Mullings is also questioning how the country will benefit from the passage of this bill.
Say you have 10 companies are given license to operate. Do the math. And you charge them, say, $1 million. That's $10 million you're going to get. All about, come on, after all is said and done, you can tell me, how is $10 million? Well, let's multiply that. $20 million from gross And the people to manage that, you have to pay people. The gaming board, the employee head count goes up to manage this new facet of gambling. That's going to cost you money, benefits, etc.
Now, the nation's leader maintains that the government's decision to regularize web shop gaming has evolved as a result of certain realities which have emerged following the referendum. According to the Prime Minister, the economic, social, law and order, national interest, and international obligation realities which developed made it absolutely necessary and the right thing to do. And that is why the government moved ahead and regularized web shop gaming. The nation's leader says the country is expected to benefit from millions of dollars in additional revenue once the regularization is complete. The government's value-added tax education team meeting with heads of various government agencies on Grand Bahama last week. The team noting that these agencies will have to work in conjunction with the VAT team in order to ensure a smooth transition once VAT is implemented come January 1st, 2015. Megan Shepherd has the story.
The VAT education team meeting with the leaders of the various government agencies while on Grand Bahama. Team member Kajana Roll says all government agencies will be required to register for VAT, and this means more filing and budgetary restructuring.
It doesn't matter whether it's a ministry, a department, a statutory body, local government council, or any other entity of government. To the best of my understanding, they will all have to register for VAT. The difference is those that have a taxable activity, those that have to charge VAT, will not only get what we call a TIN, which is the tax identification number, but they will get the VAT certificate that they will have to display. And you may have heard talk about the TIN and the VAT certificate because that is what the private sector, those who can charge VAT, those registrants who can charge VAT will have to display as well. They will have a TIN, a tax identification number that both VAT and customs will use, and perhaps some other agencies. And they will have to display a VAT certificate at every branch.
Roll also advising that government entities will be required to charge VAT in certain situations.
If the public sector offers the same service that the private sector offers, then that government sector will have to charge VAT. For example, the hospital sells medicine. You could collect, it's almost like operates like a pharmacy in some ways. We have local or private pharmacies. So on some instances there, they will have to charge VAT. That's what I mean in competition with, competition is probably not right, but they offer the same service that you can get in the private sector.
The VAT team member says government department heads will have to revisit all contracts that may extend into 2015 as they may have to be revised.
And any contract extending into 2015, inclusive of those that have already begun, will need to be reviewed and adjusted to make provision for VAT payable to the supplier if that supplier is registered.
Now, VAT is an attempt to collect more revenues for the country. Roll explains one way she hopes this will be achieved.
The refunds will be used to settle any arrears with other government entities. Remember, we said this is a new way of government collecting taxes? Well, before the government issues person A a check, we're going to check with business license to see if they owe us any money. We're going to check with national insurance and some other agencies to see, okay, why would I give this person money if they owe me money? If they owe me money, I'm going to apply that to one of the bills that they have for me before I decide whether or not. So that's one of the ways that, we beginning to get a better hand, because, the public is saying, well, government can't collect this tax, so how come they're coming up with a new one? Well, this is something that one of the ways we're trying to combat that.
Megan Shepherd, ZNS Network News.
It's been years in the making, but in a few short months, the $4 million bridge connecting Freeport to East Grand Bahama will become a reality. Tonight, one of the leading contractors is giving an update on the preparatory work being carried out on the Grand Bahama Highway Bridge. Shashina Roll reports.
The construction for the new bridge of East Grand Bahama is on target and on schedule. Now, officials say this type of project requires a lot of technical and engineering factors. And while there may be some slight challenges, they are pleased to announce that this project is now taking shape. Construction crews are hard at work as they fight to meet their April deadline for the long-awaited Grand Bahama Highway Bridge. As preparatory work continues, crews are busy putting in the sub-base road.
To add layers, or in the industry it's called lifts, in 18-inch lifts, and it's spread. We walk it in with our D8 and a grid roller, and then water and compact it to get the proper density.
The road will be elevated 18 feet higher than the existing level. Vice President of WA Construction Brian Waugh says this process has not been easy and there are some challenges.
Getting drawings approved, it's a design build contract, but the drawings are taking a bit longer than I think everybody anticipated. We've got the drawings for the road works approved now, and I would like to think that the drawings for the bridge itself are going to be approved. And once that is done, I'm sure the contractor that's doing the actual bridge work will start on the seawall panels.
Waugh says the project was 10 years in the making, and he is proud to be a part of this historic move.
Something that my dad started chasing over 10 years ago. You know, and there were several false starts and so on, but we signed up a firm contract in, I think it was January or February this year. So it's nice that it's finally come to fruition.
10 persons are employed by WA Construction on this project, and a Florida-based company is also involved in the construction of this bridge.
One of the requirements by the owner is that it be a FDOT approved bridge and road. So all of the bridge structure is being designed in Florida by an FDOT approved engineer, and all of the structure itself will be poured in Florida and brought here by barge with a crane on it, and it'll be brought into the waterway and placed by the crane.
Now, officials believe that this long-awaited project will bring about some activity for residents in the east and will most definitely provide a shorter commute for those traveling to the area. Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
Motorists are being urged to secure their vehicles at all times. This warning coming from police as they continue to see incidents of break-ins and stealing from vehicles throughout the community. While the number has declined when compared to the same period last year, Superintendent Clarence Reckley says vehicle owners must take a more safety-conscious approach to eliminate this crime of opportunity.
We have a possible park your vehicles in well-littered areas. We also recommend that you don't keep overgrown trees and shrubs around the house, because persons use those things to hide behind. Electronics, iPods, iPads, cell phones, laptops, jewelry. Some people leave their purse, their wallets, and these items are left exposed. Stealing from a vehicle, we consider crimes of opportunity. So you have valuables exposed in your vehicle and someone passed by, they take the opportunity, take it out your vehicle.
Superintendent Reckley is again reminding vehicle owners that valuables should be properly secured and not be left in clear view in their vehicles.
At this stage, we're quite satisfied with the level of policing in Grand Bahama District, and you can't relax on your laurels, but the officers are up to the challenge, and we continue to do the best we can to make Grand Bahama a safer place for us to live, visit, work, and play.
Stay with us. The Northern Edition is coming right back.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Men on Grand Bahama taking advantage of a free prostate screening clinic held over the weekend. The clinic is usually held free of charge, and even though a fee was implemented this year, that did not stop men from turning out in large numbers. Megan Shepard reports.
The Grand Bahama chapter of Us Tues hosting its annual prostate screening clinic at the Paris Plaza. Nurses on hand also checking blood pressure and conducting other health screenings. Chapter leader Dr. Andrew Moxie says men are definitely taking cancer health seriously and have turned up once again in large numbers for the annual clinic.
I would say we were on pace at the same pace as last year. Last evening we did, I think we saw approximately 230 men, and that was about where we were last year as well. So
What is it looking like this morning?
it's steady, and we'll be here until 5, so we still got a long way to go, and it looks as though we'll see the same number, or if not more men than we did last year as well.
Now this year, the organization has had to charge a small donation fee of $10 due to financial reasons. But Moxie says patients have been overwhelmingly supportive and have even gone above and beyond with donations.
We're seeing extraordinary response to that. The vast majority are in fact paying. Some have offered, extra donations in addition to that. So the response has been very, very positive.
Chair of the Prostate Screening Clinic, Don Mitchell, says men were lining up for the clinic before the doors were opened. A cancer survivor himself, he is encouraging men to continue their support of the Us Tues chapter. He explains the process of screening for prostate cancer.
As you can see this morning, we're going with a large crowd, starting with a large crowd. When we arrived here this morning at 6:30, there were a lot of men here, maybe about 30 or 40. And we're just having a steady flow of screening going on, and we go through the digital rectal exam. The blood test is first, the PSA, and then the digital rectal exam. We have a lot of phlebotomists, a lot of volunteers handling the process. We're a little thin on doctors.
As September is Prostate Cancer Month, the chapter also plans to host a walkathon to raise awareness this coming Saturday. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
12th graders in the Technical and Vocational Department at the Jack Hayward High School taking part in a safety seminar today. The school offers programs such as electronics, auto mechanics, carpentry, electrical and computer drafting, and safety and security is a priority in the various workshops. Subject Coordinator for Technical Studies Beverly Hines says she hopes the training will prepare the students for the world of work. While guidance counselor Shavita Campbell agrees, she says the start of the school year is the best time to cover this portion of the curriculum as job training begins soon.
They need to know from now how important it is for them to dress properly, for them to act properly. They will recognize instruments that will be detrimental to their health. And so it is important that we train in school, that workshops are, death traps really. And they need to know how to act when they go into the industry.
We've just opened and we're on the ball, particularly when it comes to 12th grade. We want to make sure that they get all the knowledge because their schedule is going to load up on them very fast. And they don't realize it, no matter how much we preach it, but it's going to come to pass where there'll be some things that we probably won't even have time to introduce to them. But we're trying to get them prepared for the real world, the marketplace. We want to get them really ready, especially knowing that there's a competitive market out there in terms of high school graduate.
Dwight Newchurch, a representative from the Pharmacam, believes students can benefit immensely from such workshops as they will soon enter the workforce as trainees and employees.
They would know what to look for, seeing that they already had part of it in school compared to when they reach out there with the type jobs they're going to be moving in or getting themselves into.
The Kamalami organization selecting 10 outstanding people in the Grand Bahama community to be honored. Educator Anita Doherty will receive the award for athletics, Erica Gates for ecology, Janet Bostwick for political science. The founder of Santa's Helpers, Vicky Martel, will get the humanitarian award. Dorothy Goldsmith will be honored for her contributions to education. Anthony Williams will be recognized for design. The Fine Arts Award will go to Louis Seiler. Washington Smith will receive the business honor. Lorraine Richards will be recognized for her contributions to health care. And Bishop Rudolph Arthur will be given an award for his contributions in the category of religion. The awards will take place in February of next year. Don't go away. Sports is up next with Ricardo Lightboard.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sports with Ricardo Lightboard. The Cincinnati Reds Major League Baseball team has announced the signing of two Grand Bahama-based players. Rashad Monroe and also Quentin Roll have signed, and the 2015 minor league uniform players contract. You see now, Rashad Monroe is 18 years old. Folks, he's a graduate of Sunline Baptist Academy and started playing baseball at a very early age, and also playing on the Bahamas national teams. Now, as far as Quentin, well, let me guess what, he's 16 years of age, and he attends Jack Hayward High School. Will graduate in June 2015. Played on our national teams as well and started playing when he's very, very young. Quentin also being the youngest player in history to be played on the Bahamas Softball Federation national team this year. The Reds associate, and that is Patrick Knowles, also from Grand Bahama, assisted the two players and their families in getting everything executed. Congrats goes out to our ball players. Going to be playing the minor leagues next year. Hoyt, helping our youth through education and sports basketball program on Grand Bahama, kicked off its 2014-15 season this past Saturday. They were at the Glass and Moon McPhee Park. Sponsors, supporters, all endorsing the program. Our Megan Shepard was there.
The Hoyts basketball program kicking off their new season this past Saturday. Sponsors, parents, and sporting icons all attending to show their support for the program that has assisted hundreds of students within the community. Chief Counselor for the City of Freeport, Shavita Campbell, says as the program continues to nurture and train students within the community, the council commits to assist in any way it can.
We are proud that we are here today to support this season's opening. It is with your time and your effort and funding we are able to develop our youth. This program is one that is dear to each of us because we are now seeing the fruits of our labor and the older persons who would have passed through this program.
Founder Gladstone Moon McPhee says he has a number of sponsors that he is grateful to, but has special thanks for the Grand Bahama Power Company for helping with the purchase of new training aids. A GBPC representative says they will continue their partnership in the years ahead.
The program is one that interests Grand Bahama Power, one because it encourages our youth to become productive citizens, and because it also promotes health and wellness. Both are very important to Grand Bahama Power, and they align with our corporate and community initiatives. We'd like to congratulate the organizers on the mark of the beginning of another year of the program, and we look forward to working together as we help our youth through education and sports.
McPhee says he remains grateful to his loyal supporters, including the City of Freeport Council, who have stuck with the program from day one.
I believe that a program should be in each smaller community. We started off in Coral Gardens. We end up here because they named this beautiful park after a beautiful man.
While there have been many success stories for both young men and women, McPhee is encouraging parents to send more young ladies to the program.
Parents who have daughters, give your daughter a chance. Give them a chance. There's more opportunity out there for girls than it is for boys. Don't hold them in the house to wash dishes and clean the room all the time. Let them come out here. We have coaches out here who will go with them to the end.
Megan Shepard, ZNS, Total Sports.
Well, the Freeport Aquatic Swim Club was in the pool on the weekend, and meet was a time trial at the Bishop Michael London Pool with a full participation from the club. President Gina Taylor said it was a very important meet for the coaches and the swimmers.
Means is that the swimmers, they come in, they swim, they get a time, and they have something to compete against themselves for, to better their times, or even take it a step further and to get qualifying times for our national championships, which is in next year May. So it really means a lot for the swimmers, especially the ones who are trying to attain national championships times or even CARIFTA qualifying times.
Well, the Freeport Aquatics plan a number of events for the fall season, and hope is to see those times actually drop as national qualifying times are posted, especially for the younger swimmers.
Looking forward for this year, we're just building on where we left off from last year. We took about 30 swimmers to nationals. Next year, we're hoping to take around 40 to 50 swimmers. We're increasing in our 8 and under and 9, 10, which is basically the base, our foundation there. In order to build a house, you have to have a foundation. So we're into recruiting and developing our younger swimmers now.
And I got to say, too, Mr. Roberts over there at Freeport Primary, it's going to be okay, my brother. I have ordered a whole pack of Band-Aid for you and the Dolphins. That's sports.
This